Bermuda.
So I have zero idea how we're supposed to introduce this at all.
Hey, what's up, guys? I have a Bermuda Triangle deck. Premium's kind of healthy now because, you know, new ban list. Everything that wasn't viable before is kind of like in a weird tier 1.5 bubble right now. So we're trying to just figure out what works. So I got this Harmony/Melody deck I call Harmelody. It's a giant meme. I don't know if it's good or not. I've been playing it for like 2 weeks and I still can't determine whether or not I should continue playing this or not. So 2 copies of Colorful Pastoral Fina. So spoiler alert, you're gonna be riding into Plan, and Plan's gonna copy the effect of everything in Soul. Now in V series, this is a fantastic card because you'll be able to copy Caro and Sonata and get really fat columns. But we're only really using it for the defensive purpose of Fina, because Fina says Melody, when your unit plays on Guardian Circle through intercepting, which they all gain intercept, they get 10k shield. So we play 2 because we can just toss both of these into Soul early and then just sit on a bunch of 20k and 25k interceptors. And in the case of grade 2 Fina, 35k. Because this is a grade 3 heavy deck, you are going to be lacking for shield in some areas, so it's very good to just have a little bit of a defensive presence.
I thought you played 3 of that.
I did play 3. I need to find the space.
At the last, did you play it in the premium?
I did play it in the premium tournament. I did play this at 3. I'm just experimenting with a few things right now, but I definitely want to find space to put this back up to 3.
Because you put the grade 2 Finas back in?
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
So next, main grade 3 you want to ride is Star on Stage Plan. Plan copies the ability of all of your melodies for your battle phase and your main phase, as well as your opponent's battle phase. You're never going to use the second skill unless you want to just finish a game on this by creating an additional Excel marker, because this just says Counterblast 1, toss a Melody and Soul, draw a card, and if your opponent is on grade 3, get a Protect, Force, or XL marker. I mean, usually you want to go Excel 1 or 2. One's for small pushes. Like, the big thing with Melody, if you've played V series, is that Caro is boosting to make your numbers insanely high. Like, just alone, your attacking numbers are not going to eclipse 33,000, but with the boost, you're talking about in the 66 to 81,000 range, which is nigh unguardable without perfect guards. You want to usually go Excel 1, that way you can just make a fatter number. You can make something that's like 40, 45 without the over trigger, so that way you can hit over a defensive and force them to drop G guards or just PG or just take the hit. But generally speaking, you'll never go into that. You'll just use this for the defensive boost with Fina. If you go first, you don't get the marker, but you can use the skill to use Sonata skill in Soul to just cycle an extra draw. Force 2 is very important because you have multi-attack, you have ways to bounce cards back to hand and call them back out, and you want to apply as much pressure as possible.
Going first?
When going first and second.
You go into, you kind of just use the skill to just get big, like you're playing V?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, a lot of premium decks nowadays work like that, where if you go first, you play V. If you go second, you just play premium. Stride, you do all this stuff, but if you're a lot of V decks, you can just go first and just do it as if you're playing V series, which is kind of nice. We play 4 Colorful Pastel Caro. It's the best card in the deck. It's better than Sonata in my opinion. It gives all of your Melody units the ability to boost and gives them 5k on boost. Also, it's not a bad second ride, because if you ride this, you can just Soul Blast 2 and just search another copy, so you can just deck it right off by riding. Obviously Ultimate Stride, yeah, and you can also grab this for Ultimate Stride fodder too, or to go into the Progenitor Dragon.
I was gonna say, did you ever like misride to go into this?
Yes, actually. In one of my practice games I did last week, I going second, I hard rode this, got another copy, and just went right into the Progenitor Dragon to force them this 2-drop and get all my strides for free. I just wanted to see if it was kind of worth it for the value, and it actually was. So.
No, that's what Kevin used to do. He used to do exactly that, and then, yeah, he played 2 copies of the Progenitor for that reason.
And finally, running up the grade 3 lineup, we play 4 Colorful Pastoral Sonata. Sonata is the one that everyone knows. It's the one that gives all of your stuff 5k. Vanguard Circle, kind of blast 1, Soul Blast 1, scry cards on top of your deck until you hit a unit with Melody, and then call it to rear, and then shuffle your deck. You can copy this with Pawn if you opt not to Stride, going first, or if you want to just do a kill turn with just Melody on board. But mainly you're just using this just to beef up your cards. The extra 5ks, they do stack, so getting 2 of these on the field minimum is kind of needed to hit over certain numbers. We play 3 copies of Admiral Spiral Spica.
This is rarity?
Of each rarity, because that's all I have. That's all I have. This is the best combo piece in the deck. It's on boost, Generation Break 1, you counterblast 1, choose a rear guard, return to hand, and then call a card from hand. It's a rear guard circle, and it has 3k. When you're talking about Melody numbers, 3k doesn't really make that big of a difference, especially when they're all swinging 13 to 16s. It doesn't really change your number that much, but you want it for the multi-attack. Being able to bounce like a Sonata on a Force 2 going like 23, and then boosting this, and then bouncing this back and calling it back out for another attack on Force 2 is insane. And there's strides in the deck that'll let you reset your Spica column, so that way you can do that twice. And then you get like 3 Force 2 swings.
Did you ever dance on an Axel marker for the bounce?
Yes, yeah, I have actually.
Okay.
There are turns where I go Plana's finisher, I just drop Spica with Caro behind it, swing for like 42. Swing for like 42, bounce the Excel marker, bring it back, and then do it again, and then bounce for another one. It's very rare you'll draw into 2, but if you can draw into at least one of these, you'll be fine. It's not needed for the deck to win, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps put your opponent to 6 faster.
Yeah, it's an extender, yeah. I definitely see that.
We play 4 from Colorful Pastel Fina.
Go.
This is the card I just tossed into the deck recently because I realized I was lacking shield. A lot of premium decks going first, especially Excel plans, and there's really no out to that unless you just start like massively hitting damage triggers. So this just says it has the Melody ability, so it shares all the abilities, gets the boost, gets the 5Ks, gets the shield value from grade 3 Fina. But she just says when you're placed on Guardian Circle, if you have a Melody Vanguard, which you always will, she gets 10k shield. So just 15k shields. If you have Fina in Soul for Quan, you can make this like a 35k intercept, which is nuts. Because like there's a lot of, because especially in premium, we're seeing rises of cards that require a 2-card guard, and they're swinging for like Luard, for example. Like Orfist is asking for like 36,000 Vanguard. You have the 2-card guard. I can just go, no, nah, I'm good, Chief. I'm good, Mario. Rounding out the grade 2 lineup, we just played 4 from Colorful Pastoral Sonata. This is your ideal grade 2 ride. It just says Melody. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard Melody, all your front row Melody units get 5k power. This makes it a really good ride target turn 2. Not because it's just better than Fina to ride, but because this just comes in at 15k, and if you call down another card, you can go like 15-15 and force them to pressure, force them to swing into this, because this is a 15k intercept as well. So it actually forces them to target away from Vanguard, so you can actually leave some of the pressure away. And also, if you have multiple, you can just go something like this, now you have like 3 20k swings on turn 2, which is just nuts. Like even through a defensive, you can play through, and you can also like, we do play grade 1s in the deck, I'll get to in a second, but you can like go like 15, you can go like 20, 20, and then 28 with an 8k booster, it's just nuts.
You only play grade 2s, that's it?
I play 11 with the speakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the speakers are the only non-melody cards in the deck, or melody or harmony in the main deck.
Are you playing 11, 11, 11?
I am playing, I believe I'm playing 14, 11, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 14, 11, 8. So we're getting into the grade 1s. 8 grade 1s. So first, we have the most important grade 1, second most important grade 1 in the deck out of the 2 I play. We have 4 Superb New Student Shizuku. Now for people in G format, you'll remember this as the really annoying card. She has the Harmony ability. When you place a unit in the same column as her, both units enter Harmony state. And her ability is Generation Break 1. When she enters Harmony state, you get to look at top 5 cards of the deck, add a grade 3 from among to hand, shuffle the rest back in. Now, why is that important? Well, we have a lot of ways to bounce cards in this deck. So we can actually proc this multiple times in the same turn. We can proc this on your opponent's battle phase. We can proc this pretty much anytime we want to. If you had this behind Vanguard and you write over your Vanguard, you can Harmony that way too. I'll go into some of the combos in a bit of how you can actually G-guard into like grade 3 search. You can just do like column resets to get your grade 3 search. Because the point of the deck is you want to thin out all your grade 3s as fast as possible. That way you hit your triggers faster. And we have many ways to do that in the deck. And I'll get into that once we talk about the G-zone. But this is a very important piece of that combo. And here is your, probably the second best card in the deck in my opinion. We have so her ability is when she's placed, Vanguard or Rearguard, if your opponent's Vanguard is the same grade as yours, you Soul Blast 1 to pay the cost. If you're not the same grade as your opponent's Vanguard, you Counter Blast 1 instead. Her ability is when she's placed, you pay your cost. When you do, you check the top 7 cards of the deck, search for 2 differently named melody units, up to 1 in the soul, up to 1 in hand. Now, why is that important? Again, we have column resetting, we have bouncing. That way we can recycle this multiple times.
So you're gonna try and throw Fina off of this.
Yeah,
soul,
so
right?
this is 100% how you set up Fina in your soul. You have no other ways to soul charge unless you blind soul charge off an effect, which I don't think there actually is in this build. One of my previous builds played grade 2 Cannon, which does blind soul charge when placed, regardless. But the good thing about Meep is if you open 2 of these, you can actually set up for a hard 4-card thin just by riding one and calling one. Because you ride one, toss something you don't care in the soul, like a grade 2 Sonata or like a Pawn, and then you call the other one out, soul blast that out, and just do the top 7 again. So you can just deck thin really fast. I remember one of my games, I was able to draw into 3 of these in my opening hand, and I grabbed 6 cards out of my deck before I actually started drive checking. Yeah. The name of the game with this deck is just deck thinning until you win or lose.
No, just try to hit the over trigger that you never hit.
Speaking of, the trigger lineup, 1 over trigger. I shouldn't have to say what this is for. It's an over trigger. Come on. For people who don't know, I'll just gloss over it. If you drive check this, until end of the fight, all of your rear guards get 10k. That 10k is actually kind of clean, but when you're talking about melody numbers, it's like, it's good for Spica and for, what's that other card I was talking about? Like if you have to make like a Shizuku Meep column, it makes like 45, which is kind of nuts, or 35, which is kind of nuts, but I mean, this is just generally, you want to thin so you can have a better chance hitting this defensively to just shut off a turn. Exactly. We play one Kruk. Kruk is limited to one, so that's why we only play one. She has the Harmony ability. When she's in the Harmony state, at the end of the battle that she boosts, she gets the red text of put her back to the deck and shuffle to bounce a card and call a card. This is more like what we use Spica for, where we used it for the bounce for the multi-attack combos. You can actually do a Kruk behind a Force 2 and then a Spica column to bounce the card 3 times for only 1 counter blast. So there's a reason this card's hard limited to 1.
Wild. You have a very strange trigger lineup, I know that.
Yeah, so we're playing 4 crits. You don't really need the crits as much in this deck, especially when you're just going to cycle on a Force 2 marker from multi-attack. If I could, I would actually replace these for extra stride crits, because you don't want to drop your 3s, because all your 3s are your boosters. You want your Karas, your Sonatas, you don't want to throw away any 3s for striding. So if I could, I'd definitely bump this up to 4. But this is just in here because that's all I have.
Alright.
Bow triggers, 2 Lyrical Monasterial ones because they're shiny, and 4 Lene.
That's for your Angel Feather deck profile.
Yeah, this is for the Angel Feather. This is for Angel G-zone. That's the next video.
Yeah.
6 draw triggers. You want to, if you are thinning out fast enough, you can start hitting these defensively or offensively just to get your hand size up.
I'd imagine deck space is the reason why you didn't consider running grid 1 PGs.
The Harmony Perfect Guards aren't really that good, and they're not really worth it for me. So that's pretty much it. If the meta shifts into grade 0 restriction, maybe they'll find a way into the deck. But for now,
play like Aqua or something like that to put cards in Soul.
I thought about that, yeah. And we played 4 heals. We played 2 Choo-Choo and 2 regular. Self-explanatory. These are counter-charge, soul charge. These are just 20k fat on early game. And then we get into the G-zone, which is actually the most important part of the deck.
The funkiest thing about the deck, yeah.
So first, let's start with this one, Loris. Now you might wonder, what does Loris do? I haven't seen this card in forever. It does nothing. It's flip fodder. It's my waifu. Leave me alone. There's actually a combo you can do where you just go into this, and you just drop the crit that goes in the soul, and then you harmony with this, and you do nothing else. And then this goes in the soul, makes us like 43 with a crit. That's all it does. But you're never gonna go into it for that. That's just a meme.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Next we play Lucky Rise Ocarina. Very simple, 1.5 lines of text. Soul Blast 1, bounce 2. Why is that important? We play cards with Harmony ability, sir. When a card's in Harmony, yeah, we play a card with Harmony ability. So the way Harmony works is once you enter Harmony state once while the card's on the field, you cannot enter with another unit. So if I were to say call this in Harmony, I can get my top 5 search, but if I call something else here, I can't trigger Harmony because that's a hard once per turn. However, with Alprina, we can do this, do our search, Soul Blast, bounce this, and then do it again in a Harmony. Now the play I like to go into this for is if I have 2 Shizukus. So I can just...
Or 2 Meeps, maybe.
So what you do is you just go Shizuku, Shizuku. Actually, let me do it like this. This is here. Basic Harmony. You get 2 top 5 grade 3 searches. So that's 2 card thin. Activate Alprina skill. Soul Blast 1. Return these. These are now new units since they left the field. And then you just do it again. And then you just reset the Harmony and do more deck things.
Did you ever do it with Plan? I mean,
yes.
not Plan.
Yeah, Meep. Yeah,
Meep.
No, Meep is that's also why Meep's there. You can do it with Meep as well. You can do this Harmony, Counter Blast 1, top 7, 2, 1 in, Harmony 5, bounce, do that again.
Okay.
2 Counter Blast and 1 Soul Blast. You can essentially grab 6 cards out of your deck.
And you can play it off with G-Guards too.
Exactly. And also, yeah, when I get to the G-Guards, I'll explain why this card is actually... Shandi. Shandi's our alternative first if we want to be aggressive. Her ability, she has the Harmony ability as well, so you can toss something behind her. Generally, you can just toss Shizuku behind her and just go Harmony. But you want at least 1 Harmony column because her ability is on swing, Counter Blast 1, check the top 10 cards of your deck. For every 2 units in Harmony state, you call 2 cards. You call that number of cards to the field. So with this being in Harmony state, you get to call 2 off top 10. So what you could do is you could force 2. You can just make like an anything column. You could do like Juan Caro if you really wanted to. Swing with this, activate Shandi, top 10, and then just like grab 2 cards off top 10 and call them back. And then you still have the force 2, and then you have like a Spica on the other side, and then you can just do that. Spica, reset, boom. This is if you want to aggro on first strike, or you can or you can do this again. This is an option too. So this is aggressive first stride. You're never gonna go into this if it's not your first stride, because once you get G-Break 1, there's better options.
You got the crit once with that, didn't you?
What's up?
You got the crit with that? Yeah, if it's 6 are in Harmony.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention, this is important. This will usually not go off, but if you have 6 units in Harmony, she gets a crit. For each face up in G-zone, my bad.
Oh, okay.
My bad. So with 1 flip, you'll get usually, like if you G-guarded and you go into this, you'll probably hit like triple crit off of this. They'll usually block this though because they're afraid of the deck thinning. Alright, so next we play one Anj. Anj is a option that I don't usually go into because Counterblast is kind of tight at certain stages of the game, and by the time I want to go into this, I only have like 2 face-up damage. That means I can't use Spica.
Yeah,
So this is a very situational card. It's fantastic for your Link Joker matchups, which will be rising once Nebula, once the next wave of support comes out. So this is Counterblast 2 when placed. Bounce any number of either player's rear guards. If you bounce, I believe 4 or more, you get to draw a card, and if you bounce 7 or more, she gets +1 drive. She also gets 5k for every card you bounce. So you can also reset your columns for more Harmony plays, as well as just getting problem grade 2s with like big intercept values. Like if you're playing against like a Shadow player who plays like the Eagle for instance, you just bounce it back to their hand, they can't use it. Yeah, I mean the quad drive's really nice, especially when you filtered out a ton of cards and you're hitting down low into the deck into your triggers. Also, you can just go with this on a Force 2. You can re-ride Force 2 Vanguard and make this like 100,000. Let me vibe check you.
Quad drive, yeah.
Let me vibe check you. But like I said, it's mostly there for Link Joker. Going into on its own merit, it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
We play one Progenitor, Ballerina. Ballerina is probably the finisher of the deck, I would say, if your other options don't seem like they're going to be enough. This card says, when your opponent's Guardian is placed, you can discard a grade 1 or less to retire. That basically means that if they put anything on Guardian Circle that's not a perfect guard, you can just shatter it no matter what. Includes G-Guards as well.
If you play 2 of that.
I play, if I could, $80 card. As Jose reminded me, it is also, yes, now it's an $80 card. This is an alternate win con. Yeah, you can go like Force 2s on the side, split, go into this. Vanguard's the least threatening column. They'll probably just take this. You hit a crit, you just win.
Yeah.
We do play low crit count, but again, they're afraid of that because they don't know the trigger lineup, so they might just like raw PG this and just prey on the sides. Also, yeah, as all Progenitors do, once you go into this, you can strike for free for the rest of the game, which is kind of important because you don't want to discard your 3s.
With the $80.
With the $80.
Yeah, just buy a second one, it'll be good.
We play one Megiddo. I'm sorry it's not Moe Megiddo. I don't have waifu money, but you're not going to go into this. This is just to make the G-zone shinier and to put fear in them. You're never going to go into this. This is flip fodder as well. CB2, call 5 cards from hand or drop zone. They all get 5k and can swap columns. That's kind of okay, I guess. If you have a Force 2 and you call like 4 Sonatas and a Caro, sure. I guess, but there's better finishers, honestly. We play 2 Tarua, which in every other Bermuda Triangle list you'll see on YouTube or anywhere else, everyone will swear this is like the best stride in the deck.
I mean, it is.
In this, it is. That's because it is. In this deck, however, it's probably a last resort if nothing else. You don't want to bottom deck your units because all your units do things to give your other units abilities and power. So losing those units is kind of a neg, but if you think 2 Vanguard swings is enough to finish the game, go for it.
Yeah, it's a desperation play.
It's a desperation play, and because there's really nothing else to play that's generic enough. Like I said, this is a really great stride and a fantastic card in every other list. In this one, though, you don't want to lose your melody units.
Yeah.
But if you think this can win you the game, like right off rip, go into it.
Pop a Force 2 on that.
Pop a Force 2 on that.
That's actually kind of good.
No, it is. No, I agree. Alright, so 2 cards that Mario has edited over.
Yeah, I can put that.
So her ability is, she has the Harmony ability. To act to skill, Counterblast 1, flip a copy of herself face up. Choose 2 units with the Harmony ability and bounce them back to hand. So again, you can do that Shizuku column reset if you have it. So you can always do this. Top 5, then use out skill, bounce these with her skill.
Same thing with this to filter again.
An out skill ability is when she also gets the red text when she attacks. For every face-up card in G-zone +1, I can bounce that number of rear guards back and call 2. So what you want to do is you want to use this for a Spica column reset. So you can just do this. You can go like Melody unit unboosted, Spica, reset, next restands, attack, Elk, skill, bounce this, do this again,
swing again.
Boom.
Spica combos in 2021.
Yeah, Spica kind of wild, not gonna lie. Spica's actually the glue holding a lot of Bermuda Triangle decks together in Premium right now, I would say. It's the ability to reset on the Force 2, it's just so strong. This is generally my finisher on turn 2, because they can't really withstand it. The only downside to that combo is you need 3 over Counterblast. So if you use your Counterblast early...
You get bursted, you know.
If you get bursted, then this is your pushback. But other than that, it's pretty safe stride for turn 2.
Other than that, you kind of just farm for cards, don't you, throughout the entire game. Like defensive Luard.
We play the real finisher now.
The real finisher.
2015 call. She wants her waifu back. We play 2. When she attacks, you can bounce any number of your rear guards back to your hand. If 3 of them had different names, you can call 2 from hand to different rows, and she gets a crit. Her crit is not as important. I mean, it's kind of nice when you split the Force 2s, because then now your front row swinging all crit. But it's also, again, there for the Spica reset, because you can do, like...
It has to hit all different names, or...
as long as 3 of them have different names, you can do it.
Bounce 3, or...
you can choose up to 5.
Okay, sides.
You can do that, yep. Swing side, Spica, bounce.
Pull back.
skill, bounce.
Send a line bounce. Yeah, and do it again.
Yep. All on force 2s. This gets a crit because I bounced 3. This is boosting. You get the point. Yeah, Olivia finishes. You just Spica's pretty much the glue holding it together. That's if there's anything you're gonna take away from this G-zone, they all combo really well with Spica. Then finally, G guards. Yeah, one Leona. She says when you place on Guardian Circle, you bounce a rear back to hand, and then you can call a card with the same grade to Guardian Circle to give her extra 5k. The extra 5k shield's like whatever. You usually want to just bounce cards that are in front of Shizuku. That way you can set up for the double G guard play, so you can like bounce this back, call to Guardian Circle for like a 20k shield, and then you can use the other G guard, which is the other one that got reprinted, Citron. Her skill is when she's placed on Guardian Circle, choose a card from hand, call it to rear, and then she gets 10k shield. Now why is that important? That triggers Harmony. We're deck dimming on your battle phase.
You can use Shizuku to search, you can use Meep to search again. So you can just filter out for more defensive.
You can use Shizuku. You can Meep in front of Shizuku and go boom, I thin 3 cards during your battle phase. You can also, with the Finas and Soul, you can just go like, call this and then intercept off. Boom, bigger shield.
That too.
I don't know.
Wait, those are the only G-guards that you play? I thought you played other stuff.
No, that's it.
Or
that's the deck.
Oh, that's actually really solid.
I would play Ellie if she wasn't banned.
Yeah, I think everyone would.
The thing I would change in this G-zone, honestly, if I was gonna make any change, is I would take out the meme Megiddo that I'll never go into, or the meme Loris, and just put in 1 copy of Sandy. Sandy says for every 2 cards in hand, she gets 5k shield. So it's just 1 really fat G guard.
I swear I had copies of that. You just didn't take it from me.
All right, so hook me up with them next time I see you.
All right.
That's pretty much the deck. Is it good? I don't know. Is it bad? Probably.
I don't know, but hey, premium's tier 2. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.